4th and 8, game on the line. Cousins, Hockenson, he is not going to get there.
Why go 13-4 just to do that in the wild card round?
Classic Minnesota sports, dude.
Not surprised.
Unreal. Let's go. Of all teams to lose to, too, the New York Giants, guys. Like,
Ugh.
you're 13-4. How can you, like, it would have been one thing to fall to San Francisco in the next round, fall to Philly. Like, I still would have been heartbroken, don't get me wrong, but oh my gosh, the talk out there of us being frauds is everywhere, and we have to start. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to dive in, but I want to start with the final play. We got to talk about the final play of the year. It's what everybody's talking about. 4th and 8, and what do you do? What do you do on 4th and 8, Josh?
Okay, I don't know why they called that play. I don't know why they had. Okay, so just for everybody, he threw it to TJ Hockenson, 3 yards. I texted you guys right after, before Twitter blew up and everything. I texted you, I was like, 4th and 8, and he threw a 2-yard pass? Like, why? Why would you do that? And he was covered. So, yeah, he had. I just don't know. Like, why you wouldn't throw past the sticks, why we wouldn't risk throwing it to, like, KJ Osborne over the middle, who had some room. Like, it probably would have been a contested catch, but you probably would have had a better chance of getting a first down throwing it to him than to TJ Hockenson, who was just blanketed by a defender. And
right on him, too. Like, literally, the second he catches the ball, he's tackled. You could see it.
If I was TJ
There's no way
Hockenson,
Kirk couldn't tell.
Yeah. So Kirk Cousins clearly seemed like pissed after, right? He like ripped his like, little helmet claspy things off and was like all mad, as he should be, because he made a stupid mistake. But like, if I was TJ Hockenson, I would have first questioned, like, are you sure you want me to run this route? Because it's like not even close to being far enough to get a first down. And then 2, afterwards, I'd been like, why did you throw it to me? Like, I should have just been like a decoy. Like, why would you throw to me? Like, I don't know what his like target progression was, but like he just threw it to TJ so fast. Yeah, everyone's talking about it. It was just a bad play call, and we'll get to it. It's not all Kirk Cousins' fault. The defense was absolutely terrible. Kirk Cousins made that mistake at the end, but not his fault entirely, because the defense played absolutely terrible, and we'll get to that. But yeah, honestly, that's going to go down as one of the. Like, people talk about like missed field goals, like Blair Walsh, like things that happened where like people like we miss field goals and like clutch. This is the new one that people are going to talk about. They're going to be talking about the 4th and 8 where they forgot what down it was or something. I don't know what the explanation was, but he threw a 3-yard pass to TJ Hockenson, who was covered. Yeah, I don't.
And you have we saw in the Bills game when we came back, like it was clear to everyone in the league. You cannot cover JJ. You can put 3-4 guys on him, and you are in a win or die situation. I was staring at my TV, yelling, like, this is clearly going to JJ. It has to. Yeah. You have to throw KJ. That ball to JJ. Yeah. Like, or KJ, sure. And the play before that, if you remember, the 3rd and 8, he threw to KJ, and it, he kind of underthrew him a little bit, so it kind of hit him up in the pads, but like, that was the play they should have ran on 4th. They threw that for like 15, 16 yards. Why not run that on the 4th when you get there? And on the 3rd, they should have ran this play. Like, did they get the 2 flipped? Like, they could have ran this 3rd, got an extra few yards, and then threw that ball to KJ, and they would have, sure, he might have dropped it. It would have been tough, but it's like, at least you had the shot. Just throwing it. It's unbelievable.
At least you're putting a ball ahead of the sticks, which you can't be doing that on 4th down with the game on the line. There's no reason you should put a ball anywhere, maybe 2 yards behind. Like, you have to be pushing the ball downfield. That is such a weak play. Like,
and not game on the line. Sorry to correct you, but season on the line.
Correct. Right. And you can't be doing that with, like, you had so many other opportunities. Like, Osborne and Thielen were single coverage. Their guys were kind of on them, but they're ahead of the sticks. If they catch it, it's a first down. Like, Hockenson didn't even have a chance to spin and turn around. But, I think with what you guys were kind of saying, the narrative around Kirk kind of screwing it up and whatnot, I saw someone said Kirk made one bad play, the defense made one good play, yet Kirk's getting all the blame.
Yeah, which is true. And we know there's a lot of blame. But even looking at this play, there are just so many other options. Like, obviously, I think we all believe they should have thrown to JJ or KJ, right? But even Thielen, give him a shot. And honestly, Dalvin Cook, he goes through. He doesn't even lay a block, I don't think. He goes right through the line. He's open on the outside. I know he's behind the first down, so he should be just as available as TJ Hawkinson. If you're going to actually consider throwing to Hawkinson, you should also be considering throwing to Cook there, because Cook can beat a guy. That guy's like 5, 6, 8 yards down the field from Cook. You get the ball to him, he could beat him. He at least has a chance. Throwing it to TJ in this situation was just absolutely dumb. Like, the best thing TJ Hawkinson could have done is pretend to catch the ball and instead slap it up the field to hopefully get it down further and not let it get intercepted by them. Like, I don't know. He was in a situation where he knew it was over, even if he catches it or not. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Getting all these, I just realized, like, in this, like, as we're going through this, it's like hilarious talking about their receivers, because you're like KJ, JJ, TJ. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so the play, I think everybody knows probably the best bet would have been KJ, who had a step on his man over the middle. Dalvin Cook had more yards. If you're actually like, I have the play like freeze framed here, right when Hawkinson has the ball in his hands, his defender's like on him, he's like touching him almost.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook did have like 5 or 6 yards and probably had more of a chance to make a move, but he shouldn't have been there anyway, because why would you want to throw a screen pass with the season on the line? Like, so like, I understand they probably wanted Dalvin Cook to stay back and pass block because like they didn't trust the O-line and we needed Kirk to have time to get the ball off.
But he wasn't even pass blocking. He just went
like,
out.
No, it's like, if you're going to keep him back there, just have him pass block. Like, I don't know. It's really frustrating. I don't know. Like, I just don't understand that play call. I think everybody who is a Vikings fan is questioning it. It is a really sad way to end the game. Like, just
I don't know if there's any speculation you guys can think of why they maybe called it. My only thought.
Well, I don't think he looked at his targets correctly. Like, I think TJ Hawkinson was TJ and Dalvin Cook were probably his last looks. I don't know why he didn't. I'm trying, like, was he under pressure? Like,
it was obvious that he was under pressure a little bit, and they also let the clock run all the way down to 0.
He got hit as he threw, I guess, but like, he could have thrown it to KJ over the middle. Like,
right. But the only thing I can think of is like, they clearly just told JJ go. Like, they just sent him, he went deep, and that took all their corner and safety, that they pulled them back. So then they were probably hoping that TJ Hawkinson can burn that guy somehow, get open, and then he has plenty of room to get to at least to the first down and get out of bounds.
But when Kirk recognized that defender didn't go with JJ, he shouldn't have thrown to him, and it shouldn't have even been his first.
Did he think
KJ should have been his first
fourth down? Did he think it wasn't 4th down? Like, do you think?
No, obviously he knew it was 4th down.
They were under pressure. I mean, he's under pressure a bit, and the clock ran all the way down before they were hustling to hike that ball, and that's never a good sign.
I said that as a joke, like that they think that Kirk Cousins didn't know what down it was, because I thought it would be a cool clickbaity title. You clicked, right? You're listening, right? Anyway, but yeah, no, it's like, it is weird, and yeah, they knew what down it was. It was a dumb call, but it like, honestly, like that. At first, that was the only excuse I could think of. I'm like, why would you throw that like little check down pass on 4th down? You know.
All right. Is there anything else on the final play? We've talked about it for a while. Anything else you guys want to say? Final thoughts on the final play of the game, and let's move on to talk
forever about the final play and how disappointing it was. So we can just move on. All
right, Alex, you got any final thoughts? What should they have done in one sentence? To me, throw to JJ. Just throw it to JJ. He can catch anything. And if he doesn't, it's not your fault. He tried his best.
Right.
So
I just don't know why there was, on that play, there was even a route that was a 2-yard like out like route.
Yeah, makes no sense. They should have at least made it 8 yards and up.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense. All right, moving on from the final play. Let's talk about. Let's wrap up talking about the offense very quickly and just talking about JJ. They covered him pretty well. He started out really strong, but he only had, I think, 1 target in the whole second half. How is that? I don't care how well you cover him. How do you let that happen in a do or die playoff game when you're down? 1 target.
You have to be getting your stars the ball in space. That's how you win football games. And the Vikes just weren't able to do it in the second half. I think Jefferson had like 4 receptions on that first drive, and then it just went really quiet for him. And, definitely slowed down our offense quite a bit. Opened up for TJ Hawkins to have a hell of a day, 10 for 129. But yeah, there must have been an adjustment the Giants secondary made that they found the answer. Who knows? But yeah, it's pretty disappointing to see your star receiver not be able to make an impact on the game.
But I don't even know, like, Josh, how do you even find the answer to that? Because we've seen, like, in the season, Kirk has actually opened up, come out of his shell. He's thrown to JJ while he's completely covered, and he finds a way to catch the ball and get open and, like, make a play. Whether he has to Randy Moss it over a guy or just duke a guy and just go after a ball without him realizing that he's already thrown it. He's made some epic plays. But when you target a guy like that one time in the second half, how can you let that happen? Is this on Kirk? Or do you think this is more on, like, did Kirk step backwards and say, I'm only throwing to guys when I see they're open, like he used to be? Or is this on KOC?
I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, obviously, like, every play, like, there's like a progression of like who they look at first to last. And I know, Hawkinson, they were having a tough time containing him. So I know that's like, he's become like a JJ like target for Kirk. Like, he loves to throw to Hawkinson because he's reliable. I think we all thought KJ Osborne was going to have a bigger game. He did say he had a touchdown, but like he only had 2 receptions. Justin Jefferson, if you look at just like receptions, he had 7 receptions, which is decent, but he just averaged.
Before those were on the first drive. So. 4 were on the first drive of the game.
I mean, they shut him down. Yeah, we'll get to that too. But the defense was the defense for the Giants played much better than they did the last time we saw them. So
yeah, and they had some more guys healthy, which helps, of course, and they were rushing better. They were covering JJ better. But
if you look at their defense,
about the fact that he only got one target covered or not.
They were blanketing everyone. You look at their defense compared to ours. It's like there were so many passes that Kirk Cousin made that were either like they caught it and were immediately brought down, or were broken up because their defense was just blanketing everyone. And it was a different story on our team where we played like really soft defense. And it was every time someone, we talked about it last time. I said I was afraid of Saquon Barkley, like getting little passes, like out of the backfield. And I was afraid of Daniel Jones, like running, and they both burned us on those like a bunch in that game. Their receivers were getting the ball. Whoever had the ball when they were passing, we were, 5 yards off them. If they passed the ball for like 6 yards, they were getting a first down because we were so far off. Like, we were playing super soft D. I don't know why. I don't know if it's Donatel. I don't know if it's like the call, if it's the calls, if it's the players, like why. I don't know why their defense was able to shut everyone down so much, and ours was just playing incredibly soft. And like I said, we were talking in the last one about, I said that I was afraid of Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield and catching passes. And I was afraid of Daniel Jones running the ball. And you watch the game and they burned us on those. So
yeah, it seemed all your fears kind of came true there. Daniel Jones rushed 17 times. For a quarterback that's not named Lamar Jackson, that is pretty crazy to me. He was 17 for 78, longest was 15, and Barkley was just, it felt like every time he got the ball, he was running for 10, 15 yards and 5 receptions for 56. Like, they were just eating us alive. And yeah, like Josh said, the coverage was so soft. I feel like our defense has such a bend don't break mentality, but we're bending way too much and just letting up so many big chunk plays that it's like, I don't know. I don't know what this. Oh, go ahead.
There was that one drive that was like 11 and a half minutes that they were driving on. It's just Daniel Jones just kept running for a first down on third, just over and over. And you're like, oh my gosh, do something. And I couldn't stop watching Kendricks. I don't know if anyone else noticed this or not. He was just chasing people. Like, he was diving at people's heels and not getting them. He was chasing people around. Like, I don't know. I've watched a lot of games this year, and this felt like one of the worst games for Kendricks to me. He was struggling. He looked slow. He looked like tired. I don't know. I feel bad hating on him. I love him. He's been around, but he was not good in this game. Got to be honest.
No.
And I don't know. It didn't feel like that's part of that's the scheme, right? At Donatel's, but
I think this game it's on the defense, 100%. I mean, the offense was actually moving the ball and we put up some points, but if you can't stop anyone, then you're going to lose.
When the defense is out there for 11 and a half minutes on one single drive, and there's other drives that are also super long time on the clock out there, your offense isn't even out there that long to score 24 points. Like, we're lucky we got that many points. We came back and tied the game. Like we did, the offense tried to do everything they could except for that last drive.
Yeah, I feel like one of the most disappointing things about this whole thing and all of our defensive struggles is we shouldn't be that bad. We have great players on our defense: Harrison Smith, Daniil Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Pat P. Like the list goes on, and somehow it's just worst defense in the league. Like I just don't understand how we got to this point.
How long over
so
under?
If you,
1 week, Ed Donatel's job.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, over, under. I'd probably under, but I don't. I just, I don't know if you're looking at the players like you just said, and you're like, these players are good, right? I mean, you have to move a piece out to like see if we can make a change. Like, I think that's going to be Donatel, because if you can't coach those players, then I don't know.
He needs to either just step up right now and retire, or they need to fire him. Like they may be having that conversation tomorrow, I would guess, or soon, early this week. Like, just sit down with him and say, all right, we regrouped, we thought about it, and you can either retire right now with dignity, or we'll let you go and you can find another job.
And we're not one of those like hater podcasts. Like I don't want anyone.
This has been 16
to get
weeks,
fired. Yeah.
17, 18, 19 weeks now. My God.
I'm just saying, I don't want to sound like we're mean. Like we're like, we need to fire him. Like we don't actually want that in our hearts. We're just like, we do want the Vikings to win though. So
we have no ill will towards Ed Donatel as a person. We just don't like him.
He's been a great coach in his career, like as a coordinator, but this year was not his year, and this team is not the team for him. Like that's just, I hope he finds another job. And I hope it's on a team we play against.
I mean, someone's going to hire him.
Let's have him go to the Packers.
He's going to go to the Bears or something.
Yeah. Yeah, their defense is pretty bad too. But I don't know. It's been a long season. I feel like he probably should have been let go at the bye week, which was week 7, week 7, I think. We were 6-1 at the time. That was probably the time to let him go. So other than that, we already know offseason defensive changes are coming. There's a lot of free agents, actually. I have the list I pulled, but I'll read it off to you really quick. And then I want to ask you guys about what you think we're going to be making podcasts during the offseason on. What kind of things are we going to be letting go? What are we going to be replacing? What questions do you want answered coming up? We don't need to dive into it, but what are we looking at? We got some of the free agents next year. We got Patrick Peterson, Garrett Bradbury, Greg Joseph, Nick Mullins. So, you got a backup QB. Sullivan, Irv Smith, Bullard, Schlottman, Madison, Blake Brandel. So another Chris Boyd. I don't know. The list keeps going. There's a few others, but those are the biggest ones. So
we're gonna keep Madison. Probably not keep Irv Smith since we have Hawkinson.
Right.
Even though he did.
You extend Hawkinson?
Surprisingly, Irv Smith caught a touchdown, which was crazy. I didn't think he was going to do anything. Yeah. And then that was good. But yeah, I don't think they'll keep him. You can't let go of Greg Joseph. I mean, come on. I don't know.
He did miss a lot of extra points. Season's over. We can hate a little bit more on the kicker now because we're less worried about his feelings if he watches this. He missed quite a few extra points this year. 5, 6. It was not ideal. Yeah, those are stressful.
True. I don't want any more hate mail coming from Greg Joseph. So
the Vikings just need to go get the best kicker they can possibly get and pay what they got to pay so that kickers never miss again. But that doesn't matter. I've been seeing some interesting tweets and stuff about JJ saying if he ever wants to make a deep playoff run, he's got to get off the Vikings. He's got to leave. Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's true. I will say this. Are
they going to pay JJ this year? Do they have to pay him this year?
No, they have one more year on contract and 20. And so we have next season on contract, and then we have a 5th-year option, and then he's an unrestricted free agent.
So we kind of have one more year before we have to give him the world, and then
probably going to be
you have to do it.
25 to 27 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And they might even do that next year, just to do it now. Get ahead of it.
Over with. Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Spread it out.
I think like that. I'm hoping this isn't the case, but this season was very good for the Vikings. Like obviously the last game, but we went 13-4, right? We were, we won the division where we're going into the playoffs. We had like a really good team this year, right? With Hawkinson, with JJ, with like KJ was like showing up at the end of the season, doing really good. Like we signed TJ Hawkinson. We had Thielen. I think next year, once we start like getting rid of some pieces, like possibly Thielen or whatever, right? Like I just don't see the team being as good as they were this year. Like this was like a really good year, and unfortunately they just like squandered their playoffs by losing to the Giants in the wild card round. So I don't know. I'm really hopeful, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I feel like this was like the best Vikings team we're going to see for a little while. I don't think they're going to be as good next year, but I'm hoping they are.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, the 2019 Twins, right? That felt like if you're going to win it, that was the year.
This was their year, man.
Of the most recent, but we'll see.
I feel like it's just like, yes, obviously it's very disappointing to see the season end like this, especially losing to the Giants and whatnot. But I think it's really important to point out this 13-4 Vikings team had a last ranked defense. If you go back over the past about 10 years and look at defensive ranking based on yards and points per game combined, from 21 to 2013, it goes 4-13, 5-11, 5-11, 6-10, 4-12, 2-14, 7-9, 6-10, and 5-10-1. This is an anomaly. This offense was so good and the defense was so bad. They were able to do so much with so little that I think it's really impressive what they did this year and should be noted.
Yeah, absolutely a super fun year for us to start the podcast too. This has been we were hoping
to
do
good time. Hoping to do a few more of these, but
we were hoping to go to Arizona
on the Vikings,
and film live there. But
maybe next year.
That's not going to happen. Yeah. So I don't know. Any final thoughts on the season? I guess, we'll put a cap on it. We're still going to be doing podcasts, obviously, in the off season. We'll be putting some out there whenever some moves happen, anything that we think could happen, some speculation. We'll be doing some extra fun stuff. We've got some videos coming out. You can actually check out our most recent Vikings video that Alex and I went down to tailgate. That's we just posted the one at the Giants fans, but we've been tailgating and we got a compilation of some fun Vikings fan stuff from the season. So we'll have that coming out soon too, probably this week. So make sure you look for that. But Josh, what's your final take on the 2022-2023 Vikings season?
My final take is what I said. I think this is the best Vikings team we're going to see for a while, and I'm just hoping I'm wrong. And yeah, very, very disappointed with the play calling there at the end.
My final thoughts are Kirk Cousins is our quarterback for the next few years. I'm sold on it this season. I saw what I needed to see. I'm in on Kirk. Hawkinson needs an extension. That guy is money. Third and final, get rid of Donatel. Let's go win a Super Bowl next year.
Yep. My final take is you have to remember.
Don't make your final take yet.
Okay, what?
Because I look dumb now compared to that. Because I don't want to be the negative Nancy. So I'm going to change my final take.
Well, what's your positive onto your negative? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, just I think that in the off season they need to make some changes regarding the defense, and
that's still
as long
negative.
as we have, but as long as we still have our core offense coming back, we're going to be fine next year. I'm also sold on Kirk. This was the year. I think everyone finally is.
All right.
Yeah,
everybody. I feel like
now.
You've come a long way on Kirk, Josh. I think from the beginning of the season to now.
No, it was ever since we saw him at opening day the year after the Minneapolis Miracle. Remember it was the year after that, and they had just signed Kirk, and they had Thielen there, and it was weird because we were all we all wanted to see Case Keenum because he was the one who was part of that, and it was Kirk Cousins, and we're all just oh yay, And yeah, it is. I've come a long way since then. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But so is he.
He sure has. And I think a big part of that is part of my final take is on KOC. Like, let's not forget that he is a first-year head coach. He ran this offense brilliantly. Yes, he did some trick plays in some situations that were questionable, but I don't care. He's showing that he doesn't just do the normal thing. He tries some new things. He could win for it on fourth a lot of times. They had a lot of comeback wins. That's good to see. We obviously couldn't come back when it mattered most, but hey, we ended up 13-4. It was a very fun, very successful season. My favorite part of the whole season was being at the Colts game. That was insane. That's something I'll have with me for the rest of my life, just being in that game, because I can't imagine that comeback gets beat anytime soon. That was pretty incredible. But overall, great season, tons of fun. We got more podcasts coming, more content coming out. We got a lot of fun stuff planned for 2023. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out some of our most recent videos, and Skol Vikes, baby.